You may have noticed that things can get a little boring if we are going to have to write this code every other time. And now, we are trying to learn to code because we want to be very conversant with AI and machine learning. But now the question is, what is the essence of writing the same code over and over if it doesn't make things easier? So it's because you have not learned enough yet. Now, here, I want to introduce something called custom functions and modules. You have seen a couple of modules so far. You have seen a couple of functions so far. But you want now to create your own function. We have talked about if you want to output a range, you simply say range, then you are going to input numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe something like that. Now, we want to define our own function that can pass some instruction. So for example, if we write range, this is going to store information number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we want to define our own function that does something that we want. Here is the sample of a code that we have been using so far. We assigned the variable length a value of 10. Then we also assigned the variable width a value of 25. So when we want to calculate the area, we assign this variable the function length multiplied by width, and now every other day we want area, we are going to have to run that. So if you get like this being 20 is 500, if this is 251, but now this is getting boring because every other time you want to calculate a new area, you have to come up here and change. Now we can use something called functions. So functions, these are a block of codes that is run to perform a task. And once a function is defined, as you can see here, it needs to be called to perform a designated task. So what you did here, this one here, is what it's said, or it's termed as calling the function range. So this is the way in which a simple custom function is defined. Here, this is a pre-built keyword which defines a function. This here, calculator, this is the name of our function, and you can give it any name. For example, you can call it calculator 1. You can call it calculator 1, 2. So you give it any name, but you can notice that I follow some ways of naming this function. For example, if I wrote calculator 1, 2, and here, instead of using lowercase, I used uppercase, this and the first one mean two different things. You can also see that I've used here underscores and such, but if you want to know more about how you can name, just go look for ways through which you can name functions, and you can always find this information online. This function here does the following things. The first thing is we have defined our function is called calculator. And we have told the function its job is to return this string. This code calculates area of a rectangle. Now, when you want to run this function, you simply input print calculator, or you can also just call the function as calculator. Now, when we run this, it is always going to give us this code, right? We could also have done print, and then it is still going to give us the same exact code. But now the question is, how then do we use this notion to calculate the area of a rectangle? You have probably started thinking about what you can do with that. But before we get there, we need first to talk about what we call defining variables. So this variable here can be used anywhere. For example, I wrote it in this cell. Now I can still call that, and still I'm going to be told the length is still 20. But within functions, there are rules. There are like 4 types of ways you can define a variable, but because you are a beginner, I'll just tell you the 2 most important. So that is going to be the local and the global variables. So a local variable is only usable within the function. So it can only be used within the function. And when we say within the function, it means anything that appears between the function definition up to the last line. So when we enter the value return, this is where our function stops running. So for example, here, width is a local function. It can only be run within this code, right? But length is a global function. Because we had already named them up here, I want us to use a different name. Let's say length 1, and then we are also going to use width 1, so that we can have this as two different variable names. Now, when we run this, we have asked the code. See, this one here is our function. We have asked it that take the value with 1, then return with. Okay, now this one here, we have actually not defined it as we should because I changed that now. So we are asking it, go and look for this value and return it as the output of this specific function. So when I come down here and call the function calculator, so let me just do that. So when I call the function calculator, it is going to run everything that is within this code, right? So if I do that, now it is going to tell me width 1 is 15. That is correct. But we also have length 1. Now, for me to demonstrate that this is a local variable, so if, for example, I took this variable here and now I tried testing it, we are told the variable is not named. But if we run here, the variable is there. So where does the difference come in? The difference comes in because this is a local variable and it can only operate within a function. If, for example, now you will be using functions which will only be having variables that are within that bound, then you will only need to define them as local. But up here, we have a global variable. So if I came here and maybe tried to test length 1 down here, then you can see now it is returning this value of length 1 because this is defined outside the function. Now here is the question, and you're probably asking this question. What happens then if I have defined this function and I've written my code, then I've realized I should have come and defined this as a global function rather than a local function. You can come back and just use the keyword global, and now you're going to input width 1. Now, if we run this code, it's still going to tell us, because the function of this code is actually to return the value width 1. So if we run that code, now this is defined as a global function. Remember, in the first case, when we tried to run this, it told us it is not defined. Why? Because it is within this function. But now if we try running this, you see? Now, at least you're following, and I think you can now start smiling because things are making sense. Now, the question is, then what do we need to do? How can we use this information to solve our problem? Now let's go back to our area of a rectangle problem. So we know the area of a rectangle is defined by length multiplied by width, right? So we can come here and write a function that actually does exactly that. So we are going to call our function calculator. And you need to be familiar with working with functions, because the more you advance with Python and you start working with complex problems, you will now need to work with functions a lot. So here is our function, and we are going to define a few things. So this function has two things. The first thing is the function name. Then now we have another thing here. This thing in the bracket, remember, in the first case, it was just empty. But now we are putting in length and width. So what we have in here are called parameters. And now we are telling this function that the calculator function takes two parameters, and that is length and width. So every time we will need to calculate the area of a rectangle, we will be calling this function and just pass. So this is called passing, pass the arguments. Now they are called now arguments. When now you come down here, when you want to run that, these figures are called arguments, and they are exactly going to match these parameters. So somebody could say pass that argument to this parameter. So the argument that we are passing is 10 to the parameter length. Now you remember the F strings. I've just put this here so that you can see how this code goes. So we have defined our function. It's called calculator. We have defined our parameters. And now we have told the function to print this string. The rectangle has a length, this, because now this is going to be passed as an argument. It's going to pick what that argument is and enter here the value. And also the width is this. So when we run this, we are going to get, the rectangle has a length of 10 and a width of 15. But Has this actually solved our problem? Not yet. But now at least I hope you're following. So if, for example, we want to change this length to something like 25, now you see it has the length 25 and width 15. So if we want to change this width, we just change that. So simply look at it like length is what appears here first. Width is what appears here second. Now, how do we then calculate the area of a rectangle? Given what we already know. So we already know up to this point, right? We already know up to this point. But now we have something new here. Area is equal to length multiplied by width. And if you remember very well from this part, I told you, you can define a local variable. Now, this is a local variable. So we have defined a local variable called area, and it is assigned the product of length and width. So this one here is going to perform the normal mathematical manipulation, which is multiplication, and then it is going to return the string the area is, and then we are going to get this value. So you can see now when we run that, the first string here tells us the rectangle has the length 10 and width 15. The area is 150. And how did you get the area? You just got the area by running this code. But now if, for example, you try to get the area down here, you see area is 520. Where does this 520 come from? We already defined that this is actually this code. So it means it is still collecting information from up here. It has not yet changed or updated. Why? Because this is a local variable. So if we call this, for example, area 1, so that you can see what I'm trying to say. So if we call this area 1, now if we change this to area 1, we don't get anything because this area 1 is a local variable. So you need to define it globally. Now, to calculate, you only need to do something calling the function. So down here, you have already seen us get the area by simply running this. But how do you call the function? This is how we call the function. And when we call a function, we pass arguments. So what we mean is we write this function name. So our function name is calculator. And then we pass the arguments length here and width here. So when we are going to run this, it is going to perform everything that is done here. So you don't need to be writing this code every other day. The only thing you need to is to come here and call that function. You call the function by entering the function name and then using these two brackets. And then after that, you're going to pass the arguments. So our arguments are that, and now this is going to perform this as it is. And you can now call this function anywhere within this notebook, right? Now, the question is, can you have different ways of defining your arguments? So we already said these up here are parameters and these are arguments that we pass. But maybe you want to perform a calculation that has so many rectangles. Let's say, for example, I have this. So we can use the arbitrary arguments, which is usually a definition of we know the length, for example, but we don't know how many widths we have. So let's say you know exactly, you have a lot of rectangles. You know exactly, they all measure the same length, but they have different widths. So you're going to define this argument, and this is how it can be understood. So far, all this part should be familiar with you. But now, at least this looks a little bit different, right? Why does it look a little bit different? Because here we only had 1, and we only had 2. As a beginner, I'll be honest with you. You only need to know up to this point. But now you will get to advance to later stages, and maybe you may want to come to this video maybe after 1 year, and now you will be like, aha, now that makes sense. So this one here, you're going to pass only one argument containing information about the length. Then everything else from this point going forward is going to be captured within this width. So this simply means we know that the value of length is defined. It's just one argument. But for the width, we don't know how many they are. And I will show you that shortly. So if I run this, I've used a for loop so that it can output the results for each. So the area for the first rectangle with the length 10 and width 15. The second rectangle is going to have the length 10 and width 22. The third is going to have 10 and 18. So when I run this, so I'm going to get these results. Length is 10, but the width keeps changing, and the width begins from here onwards up to this point. But you can also have this maybe as just 2. So if I run that, you see they reduce. Now if I remove everything and I only remain with this, now it becomes the normal function that we had. So it means you can call the calculator functions with as many arguments as possible. But then this has focused on the problem of passing arguments. So here it means we have so many arguments, right, that we can pass. But now the question is, what if actually it's not the arguments that change, but rather it is the parameters that change? For example, we are taking information about a certain unit with length, width, height, shape, blah, 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 color, and such stuff. So you're going to define the arbitrary keyword argument. So up here, we are going to have now, instead of having the arguments that we pass that are going to change, now we want the parameters to be the ones that are changing. So it means we simply write the arbitrary keyword arguments, which is shortened as this. You will get to see this quite often. And this actually means this. So this is for the arguments and this is for the parameters. But now we are going to pass something like a placeholder that can accept as many arguments as possible, right? So when we want to run this code, we will define the function, and then we are going to pass our arguments based on the current problem. Unfortunately, this is going to come out as a dictionary, so it means we are going to have to access the elements of the dictionary. And now we are going to define the variable length by accessing this, and then the variable width by accessing this. And this is how we do it: measurements, length, measurements, width. Then after that, now we can proceed to calculate the area. If this confuses you, don't worry. It is just going to take some time before you get familiar with these things. But as for now, at your current stage, make sure you understand up to this point. Because in future, when now we'll start defining functions for machine learning specifically, then it means now we will have now to come and revisit this if necessary and try to make ourselves familiar.